Good morning, you beautiful bunch of fuckers, and welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. It's Wednesday, November 26th. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Looking forward to it as always. Today is Destination Health. Phone lines are open. Looks like we've got some calls coming in already. I will get to those here soon. I don't have a lot on the open today. I may or may not have a close today. We'll see how things go. I do have an announcement you don't want to miss. I don't know how many of you took advantage of the Freedom Fuel Box when we did that over the summer. I know a lot of people did. Get a lot of feedback on that. Lisa and the team have outdone themselves. They created a holiday fuel box. We're starting Black Friday early with the holiday fuel box. It's got a bunch of very cool stuff in it. I'm not going to tell you what. You got to go look at it and see yourself, but you do not want to miss this. It's limited edition. We've only built so many. When they're gone, they're gone. Head on over there now. Don't wait till Friday. Go get your holiday fuel box now. This is stuff that you want, I promise. I'm just not going to tell you what's in there. It's a lot of cool stuff, though. You should stock up on these boxes, really. Go check it out at letstruck.com. Pick up the phone and join me. Today is all about you. I have some things I could talk about. I'd rather just take calls and questions today, so pick up the phone and join me. 855-950-3835. While we're waiting on some calls to be screened, I will tell you that I have a thought, and you know me, I like to think out loud. This thought has not been out of my head yet. So last year, I took time off over the holidays, and I'm ready for some time off again. There's a good chance I'm going to take 2 weeks off the show during Christmas and New Year's. It's a really good time for me to plan out and start a big project. So last year's big project was this site. If you're watching on letstrucktribe.com, that site was last year's big project. We revamped our whole business model. We rebuilt that entire site into the community as now. It's been growing ever since. I'm very happy with that project. I need a big project this year, and I don't want it to be pure software vibe coding because I'm doing enough of that already. I need to get a couple projects done and then take some time away from that for a while because it really has been very, very time consuming. But I've learned a lot. The tools are getting better. I think we can kind of settle down now, plan out software projects, work on them over time, no big hurry. If I get my console done, I'm not backing off till I get my broadcast console done. But once I do, then I think this would be a really good time to go back to health on day one. Go back to when we first started talking about this, and I started reading the health books, and I can still remember some of the books from the very beginning. Dr. Mercola's book, Effortless Healing, Wheat Belly, those were some of the very first books. Then the NTA program, and what we've learned over the last decade plus, we're going on, I don't know what, 11 years this fall, or right now, I think, right around, we just finished our 11th year. We have learned a lot, and we weren't necessarily right about everything in the beginning. We were on the right track, and what we were doing worked, and it was effective, but we've learned more. Here's the big one. The big one really is, I always said, if you're only going to change one thing about your health, drop grains, or one thing about your diet, drop grains. You'll see a significant change. You'll see it quickly. Everybody does. I don't think I ever had anybody tell me they eliminated grains and didn't notice any difference. I don't think anybody ever said that. And it only takes a week. For some people, it was a couple days. The real worst offender in our diet, though, I am completely convinced now. Grains are bad. Seed oils are even worse. Much of our health damage we did not realize was being done by seed oils. We realize that now because we are now working at the true root cause of all health problems, which is cellular health. The health of each cell determines the health of the organ determines the health of the system determines the health of our body. The root cause really is at the cell level. So that's the foundation we have to work on and build. The problem with asking people that don't know all of this, they don't understand it, they haven't had years of listening to all this and doing it and seeing the results, is if you eliminate seed oils, you may not notice any differences right away, because it really does take, we have to rebuild the cells that are damaged. And I'm going to get a list. There's a list somewhere of how fast the cells regenerate in our organs. Like, I think our stomach lining is the fastest. Our stomach lining rebuilds itself every couple of days, if I remember right. But every cell in our body regenerates. Every organ regenerates itself. Some of them take months or years to regenerate. I believe that's why we didn't figure out the whole sunburn thing for a long time, because it takes, from what I can gather, 2 to 3 years before your skin changes enough that we see that. So I want people to drop seed oils, but if that's all they do, it's very possible they're going to say, well, this is a lot of work to avoid seed oils, and I'm not really seeing any real change. But there's so many examples of this, of things we've learned, we've gotten better at, we understand more now, that I think it's time, and this would be a big project for me, to go back to the beginning and redo all of our health material, knowledge, systems. We have kits. I could redesign every one of our kits now and make it better. Our digestive kits, our inflammation kits. With the knowledge I have now, I could go back and rebuild those kits and make them better. We have a lot of written protocols. And the kits and the protocols I still use in my coaching practice. And I think now I tweak them because I do know better. But it would be more efficient if I just kind of go back and redo all of our health material. That's a pretty big project. But that may be my New Year's project this year. And I'm going to take some time off during the holidays and get a jump start on that. I think that would be very beneficial. So phone lines are open. Jump in and join us. Today's all about you. If you've got a question, a comment, a topic, anything at all to do with health, maybe why don't we do some good stories, testimonials? Call in and tell us your health story. Maybe that's a good way to wind down the year this year. Get ready to relaunch a lot of the health stuff. Let's talk about our successes and our health journeys. So pick up the phone. Give me a call, 855-950-3835. Hit that call now button on your app. We're going to go to Tennessee. Jerry, welcome.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not going to start out with a success story, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Do we have a challenge
I've got
instead?
2 issues today. Oh my God, do I ever. So here we go. I gave you the background first of this. For years and years and years, I suffered from high blood pressure. I was on the standard Lisinopril and whatever else that goes along with it. The Lisinopril / I don't remember what the other was. After listening to you and changing my diet about 5 years ago, I gave up the Lisinopril and actually passed a DOT physical with a 2-year card.
This sounds like a testimonial, Jerry.
Doctor. No, well, wait till you hear the end of it, though. So for 5 years, I've had a 2-year card, and I went Friday to get my DOT physical. My blood pressure was 200 over 100, and we finally sat there for quite a while in my little happy place. Yeah, quite a while in my little happy place. The lowest he could get it was like 182 over 90 something, and he went ahead and lied a little bit about it and put it down as 179 because anything over 180 he wouldn't even let me out of the office. And so he put it down as 179 over 90 something and give me a 3-month card to get it fixed. So I did go to a doctor for now and got back on. Well, first thing I did was go out to Walmart and buy one of them fancy upper arm blood pressure cuffs so I could monitor it. And, but then Monday that was on Friday, and I went back to a regular doctor on Monday, and I started back on 20 milligrams of lisinopril, but no / something else. She just put it on just the lisinopril.
Okay.
So I've been taking at least 2 scoops of Cardio Miracle a day. I've been taking Light Balance, vitamin D, and all your happy shit. What's the mechanics of? Tell me what the mechanical issue with me is. Why do I have high blood pressure now when I'd had it controlled? And yes, Friday was a really bad day. I mean, I can expand a little bit on Friday. It was a horrible day for about 4 different reasons going on, and I know that was part of it being so high, but every time I've had it in the past, it's always been borderline. It's still been way up in the 130s, and they'll just kind of, I'll just kind of laugh and say, well, it's white coat syndrome.
Well, one of the things we also need to clarify, we shouldn't say things like way up in the 130s. 130, honestly, especially if we're using, a monitor ourselves, or there is some expertise needed to take blood pressure correctly. So people do just make mistakes. The machines aren't always. 130 to me is a rounding error. I'm not concerned about anybody at 130 over 90. That's a rounding error to me. It's well within the guidelines. If you had a little too much caffeine that day, it might do it. It's so now 200 over 100, that has got to be addressed. So you did the right thing.
Right.
I'm all on board we use whatever tools we need to right now, including some pharmaceuticals, until we figure out what went wrong here.
Right. Now, the 140 is the threshold. In other words, on the DOT physical part, I understand what you're saying, but from a DOT doctor standpoint, 140 is a cutoff.
Right. Yeah, and we deal with that when we need to. If somebody has to go get their physical, we'll try to deal with that short term. But long term, when somebody is where you were, you used to have high blood pressure under multiple medications, and then you were able to maintain a 2-year card for 5 years. Clearly, you made big improvements and everything was working right. So I'm trying to just in my head.
And I haven't changed my diet. I'm still eating right, and I added in the last 5 years. I've been adding the Cardio Miracle at least 2 scoops a day, sometimes 3 if it's a long day, and that's what's baffling me. So
I have a list of triggers for high blood pressure. I just found it, brought it up. So I'm gonna go through these. So it's just like, let's check off the boxes so we don't miss the obvious stuff. These are all the things that we know that can cause a short-term rise in blood pressure. We're not looking for chronic high blood pressure because you don't have chronic high blood pressure. This came out of nowhere. So this is always the first one. Any kind of acute stress, including pain. So if you have one of those incidents.
My hands were
okay.
My hands were hurting extremely bad on last Friday. I talked to you about the trigger finger.
Yep.
And they're extremely painful, and then Friday was a bad day for it. That was one thing. There was 4 things that happened that day, and that was one.
Believe it or not, that could have been enough. Enough acute pain throws our stress system, overboard, and that alone could cause it. Combine it with just a bad day, of stress and aggravation and any other kinds of stressors. Then if we were to throw in what we might not think was a bad food choice, but maybe you just responded poorly to some food for some reason, that could do it. Any difference in caffeine levels that day? That's another one. Caffeine will raise your blood pressure every time.
Slightly less, actually, because I normally, if I was actually home, and I normally will make 3 cups of, they're small, they're only 8-ounce cups, but I usually make 3, and I just got busy and only had 2 that morning. So actually slightly less caffeine, but not much less, but a little less.
And any chance, and I'll try to explain the things that could cause this, any chance we got your electrolytes out of balance? Typically, it's going to either be low potassium or magnesium or high sodium by itself. They always say, cut down salt for blood pressure. It's not really true,
right?
As long as we keep all the others. So if you were overhydrated or underhydrated, that could contribute to this.
Probably not, because I honestly don't remember what I was doing Thursday, but my normal routine is I've got 7 tumblers in my truck that I fill 4 of them with a capful of Light Balance and 3 of them with a scoopful of Cardio Miracle. I'll usually get through 2 of the Cardio Miracle tumblers and 2 of the Light Balance tumblers at least in a day, and maybe more than that. And I was driving Thursday and then was off on Friday, so possibility, but I don't think so.
Now, it sounds like you're pretty consistent with those supplements, and that amount of water is what keeps you in balance. So if that didn't change, like, for example, when we travel, many times we just don't take enough Light Balance with us, and then I stop taking it because I don't want to ship something. And so if there wasn't any kind of a disruption in your supplement routine, then that's not going to be it. I don't believe there was. Any new supplements that you started taking within the last 30 days?
No, not within the last 30 days. Maybe in the last 60 days, I added one of your ancestral supplement organ, the male organ supplement.
We might want to take a male organs. I wonder if that's really high in B12. B12 can do this. And you can get crazy amounts of B12, and that's kind of a stretch, but I'll take a look at that. Here's another one. Any over-the-counter medications at all? NSAIDs for pain, something for congestion?
No, not in the last week anyway. I was starting to feel like I was getting a cold on Friday. That was part of that. Was one of the other issues, but I hadn't taken anything for it.
Okay. All right. So those are the quick, easy, obvious things. What I would probably...
How about Sovereign Silver? That Sovereign Silver wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Should not affect it at all,
okay.
No.
All right.
I'm going to say that this is probably going to turn out to be one of those perfect storm kind of things. You did have the extreme pain, that alone could do it. Then we have the white coat syndrome. Then you see that crazy high reading, which stresses you out. I would...
Oh, did it ever?
Yeah. And I mean, that's what stress does. Stress raises our blood pressure. That's why white coat syndrome exists, and we know it does. I know that was a really high number, but I don't think we're going to find anything major that caused this, so I wouldn't worry about it. What I would do is the lisinopril should keep things under control for now. I would just stick with your normal routine. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't add any supplements at this point because there's nothing I can think of that would help anyway. And let's just give this a week or two. And you're going to be monitoring your blood pressure yourself now because you have the machine. And let's just see what the pattern is.
I've got them wrote down here from I started Sunday. Well, I've got another piece of paper here, but anyway, I'm just trying to read down. Since Sunday, I've taken it 3 times a day, and the high has been 166 over 92, and for some strange reason, don't ask me why, but the low was 120 over 72 on.
See, that's a good sign.
Monday night.
That's a good sign to me that your body is very capable of maintaining normal blood pressure. So it's not like something really broke. I think it's going to turn out to be, like I said, maybe some perfect storm of weird things happening. And let's think about this. Had you not had a physical, you may not have even known that this was occurring, because it doesn't sound like you have any symptoms, and you normally don't. That's why they call it the silent killer, because there are no symptoms. I'm not overly concerned about this. If it doesn't clear up in a couple weeks, I think our quick shortcut to figuring out what's going on is the new OAT test. The new OAT test will pick up on a bunch of things that it could be an environmental toxin somewhere.
The what?
That new test.
What test?
It's an OAT test. OAT is a generic term. It stands for organic acid test. Ours is the technical.
Oh, well, we used to. Yeah.
The technical term for ours is MIP. It's a metabolic insights profile. But it will pick up on all the things I would probably list that could have caused this. Environmental toxins. You came in contact with a toxin somewhere, your body's trying hard to get rid of it. That will raise blood pressure.
Well,
some
coincidentally,
sort of.
I'm not home, but it got delivered. It got delivered yesterday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It could be some sort. Thyroid can have a lot to do with. So thyroid can be sensitive sometimes. Maybe your thyroid is overreacted to something. This gives us mitochondrial level function. So I think this is the quickest way for the next stage. If this wasn't just a one-time weird occurrence, and if it was, it's just you're just going to see your blood pressure start to normalize, and then we'll go, okay, whatever. But if it doesn't, and then the other thing is, once it normalizes, and you've got several days of pretty good readings, I would stop the lisinopril and make sure they stay.
Right. Okay. How long does it take to get the results back on that?
It's about 7 days.
Did you say like a couple? Days. Okay, I was thinking several weeks for some reason.
No, there is a different test that we do called the mitome test that really digs down deep into how well your mitochondria are functioning. The first test, the one you have right now, just kind of tells us what level the mitochondria are functioning at, but if there's a problem, it doesn't really specify what that problem might be with the mitochondria. The other test, the newest test, which is it's really expensive. That one's $700, and it's just a cheek swab. That one takes like 6 to 8 weeks to get the results back. And if
that was one I was thinking of.
If that first test comes back and you really do have very compromised mitochondrial function, which I don't think, that's not what I'm thinking this is at all, then the next step is we would go to that other test and then figure out what's really wrong with the mitochondria. This is going to be more metabolic, I think. You may have had, like I said, just something short term.
When I bought my electric chainsaw, I gave up my man card, but maybe I've still got a little remnants of it. So maybe I'll ask you, what's the procedure for that test and I won't have to read the directions because men don't read directions. At what time of day, what time of hydration, what before or after coffee, or what's the best way to
in the bottle? Good question, because it's very specific and you want to do it right. You want to try to stop consuming fluids about 2 hours before you go to bed, and you're going to take the test the next morning. You want to stop consuming fluids about 2 hours before you go to bed. This is the tough one. You want to try not to get up and urinate during the night, which is also why you should probably cut your fluid intake the day before somewhat. We almost want you to be a little dehydrated the night before and the morning of.
Okay.
You wake up, and the first thing you're going to do is pee in the cup. Don't drink any water. Don't have any coffee. Just when you wake up, pee in the cup, and that's it. I mean, those are really the requirements.
Okay.
It's actually a cool system. I've never seen anything quite like this, but it's kind of nice. You have the cup itself, and then you put the lid on the cup, and then they have a test tube, and the test tube is vacuum, and there's a little nipple on the top of the cup, and you push the test tube down, and it sucks the fluid up into the test tube. It's really, and then you freeze the test tube. Oh, there is another step. Don't miss this. It comes with 4 little ice packs, and you freeze those ahead of time. And then as soon as you take the sample, you put it on ice, you ship it out that day. We should have results within a week.
Does it go by, what form of mode does it go? Post office or
I believe it was
UPS
FedEx or UPS. One of the two, because it comes with the envelope itself.
So again, you got to find a box to put it in, and if you want to take it out of the freezer and put it in the box.
Yeah, it's got all the packing materials, and you'll follow the directions and pack it all up, and then the box goes in the bag. Now, here's something a lot of people don't know, or maybe they just don't think about it. Once you've got a package like that and it's ready to ship, you don't necessarily need a box. Just grab any driver you find on the road, and they're all over the place, especially this time of year. So you can just grab any, let's say it's UPS,
I realize that.
You can just grab any UPS truck, flag them down, and hand them a package. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I have done that before. So, well, but out in the middle of absolutely nowhere in BFE, catching one would be the hard part.
That's true.
You know, that's the problem I'll have is trying to catch one out in BFE. It really will be. So,
yeah. So,
I don't know about their pickup times too. So,
well,
if I get it on
plan being at a truck stop in the morning. I mean, don't they all have boxes?
Not very damn many of them anymore. You
really?
Try it? Yeah, no, very, very, very few of them. Yeah, that's very, very rare for a truck stop to either have a FedEx box or a UPS box or even a goddamn mailbox. Well, I tried to have something to mail the other day, and holy shit, trying to find a truck stop for a mailbox was.
That's crazy. I used to do that all the time. Wonder why they got rid of that.
I know, I did too, but they're very, very rare anymore. But and my timing is going to be screwed up because of the weekend, and I leave. I'll figure out something. I'll get it figured. I can do it on the road, though. I guess it doesn't matter. If I get it during the week, it'd be better to put it in a box of a morning before they picked up, and then or night. I'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure it tells you not to do it on a Friday.
Right.
I think
in the box all weekend.
Yeah, you need to ship it. I think Monday through Thursday are the days that you can.
But can you do it on a Friday because you're there, and then freeze it and just leave it in the freezer?
Yes.
How long can it set in the freezer?
Yeah, I believe that is correct. You can just freeze your sample itself. That would be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure that out. So, that answers that. I'll just keep monitoring it anyway. It was a devastating day on Friday. It was just horrible, but
yeah, that would be, but I'm just not thinking this is anything major. I think this is going to turn out to be just one of those weird one-time things.
Well, it sure as hell was major on Friday. I'll promise you that.
I'll bet. Yeah, I'll bet.
Jesus. Well, I had a really good doctor, and he fudged it a little bit, so at least I got a 3-month card. So he was real nice about it.
Good. Yeah.
That part of it worked out. So, that brings me to the next question, and I think I already answered it myself, is that I've already got that piss test delivered. I'll do it. But my question was then on you keep saying about blood tests, you can order any of them. How's the logistics on that work?
So it's all over the board because there's so many different types of tests. If it's a true blood test that needs a full blood draw, some blood tests are just a finger stick,
Right.
so you can still do those at home. If it needs a full blood draw, we have several options. You can find your own lab. You just walk in with our test kit and they'll draw the blood and do everything for you. We could arrange a lab.
Okay.
And in a lot of places, you can actually have somebody come to you and do a blood draw.
From the who?
From wherever. There's services, insurance companies use them all the time.
Okay.
If you apply for life insurance, a lot of times they'll come out and do a blood draw right at your house. We've done that several times with different. Hi, I'm Kevin Rutherford. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe or leave a comment below. It really helps us get the show out to more people. If you'd like to get the show, the full show, ad-free, you can sign up with the link below.